is this man, Johnny Hoskins? Some call him a shrewd businessman, while others call him the Godfather of Speedway. Born in New Zealand, he dropped out of school at a young age of 13, and he worked on a farm and then became a postman, and decided he would take that little money he had and move to Australia to search for a better life. However, life in Australia wasn't as easy as Johnny thought. He had just a few coins in his pocket. He went to the railroad station, he emptied his pocket full of coins, and he said, "How far will these coins take me?" They said at the train station, "Johnny, these coins will take you to West Maitland." And Johnny said, "Take me there." Johnny, being that promoter, having the promoter spirit, he had some friends. He makes friends easy. He's a promoter. And he went ahead and he organized these boxing matches and these other sporting events. Events in these stalls. He tried to generate, and he just generated a few coins. He happened to see some motorcycle races, just some guys racing for fun, and he was thinking, you know, this would be a good idea. So Johnny went to the city council of West Maitland, and he went ahead and said, like, I think we can do some organized motorcycle races. And the city council had a vote, and they said, no, Johnny, I think that that's the wrong thing to do. One Sunday morning, Johnny got this group of guys, and he snuck into the West Maitland's arena. And he went ahead and started riding those motorcycles, those Speedway bikes around. And it made all this noise. And the people, the townspeople, they all start gathering. They start watching the Speedway. And Johnny knew that he had something special. And this was like on a Sunday morning. He wasn't even supposed to be there. So Johnny went ahead, went back to that city council and said, look at this. The people are coming out. This motorcycle racing stuff is good on this fairgrounds. We need to do Speedway. And the city council said, you know, Johnny, you're right. We know that all these people came out. We think you got something going on there. We just celebrated the 100-year mark of this particular event. That was December 15th, 1923. That was just a few days ago. It was 100 years. He had this big celebration in West Maitland regarding this event. However, they went ahead and they had this organized race. They went ahead and Johnny said, we're going to donate the money this night to an orphanage, a local orphanage. And they went ahead and they had sold tickets. They had a raging success. Everybody came out for the first organized Speedway race ever. Speedway was not the only event on the venue. They had cycling, and they had all these different horse racing and all these things. And guess what? The Speedway racing was also included. For the next 2 years, Johnny went ahead and kept promoting that racetrack. It was a success. Lots of people enjoying the Speedway there. And he went ahead and branched off, and he started some new Speedway tracks. Newcastle in the New South Wales was Johnny's second adventure in promoting the Speedway. Johnny branched out to the Sydney Showgrounds in 26 and 27. However, it rained a lot there, and the rains caused delays, and it caused Johnny to lose a lot of money, and the Speedway just didn't go well. Johnny packed up his bags and he moved to Perth, and it started to be a very successful event over there. In 1 month, he made £1,000, and £1,000 in those days was like more money than people made in a year. Johnny started getting rich promoting Speedway. But Johnnie didn't stop there. In 1928, he rounded up a bunch of guys, a bunch of good local riders, Australian riders, including Sprouse Elder, that American star, that champion. They all went over on a boat on the Orsay. They sailed over. They sailed over to England. They went over there and they wanted to start the Speedway in the UK. The following year, in 1929, Johnnie was asked to promote the races over at the Wembley Stadium, and that began the Wembley Lions. Johnnie was a part of the very beginning, that famous Wembley team. While Johnnie was promoting Wembley, the West Ham Hammers in 1930, they went bankrupt. They went out of business. Johnnie said, he had a lot of money. He said, I'm going to buy that team, West Ham. And he bought that team, and he had that team for 9 seasons until World War II started. And he turned this franchise that was bankrupt, basically, into a raging success. He was also in that old movie, 1933, Money for Speed. Lionel Van Prague, the first world champion. And Johnnie was in that movie, and he was a movie star. No, I'm not just joking. But Johnnie was a part of Speedway. He was a huge part of the early days Speedway. We might call Johnnie the Godfather of Speedway because he was all a part of the early days Speedway. At the age of 75, he actually got that team, Canterbury Crusaders, in Canterbury, England. He started that team. He promoted that team. But before that, he had many teams. He was involved in many promotions for many different teams. Johnnie Hoskins was definitely the king of promotion of Speedway. Finally, in 1987, Johnnie's reign of promotions ended. He passed away at 94 years old. And we want to pay tribute to the late, great Johnnie Hoskins. Johnnie was truly an amazing promoter. This guy dedicated his life to Speedway. I think he made a lot of money, but he didn't care about the money. He wanted to promote and make this sport of Speedway great. I'm going to read a list of a few of the events and a few of the teams that he sponsored. Here we go. The Canterbury Crusaders, the Edinburgh Monarchs, the Fife Linns, the Glasgow Tigers, the New Cross Rangers, Newcastle Diamonds, Wembley Lions, West Ham Hammers. This guy, he was just all over it. And he promoted, he just loved Speedway. We honor the memory of Johnnie Hoskins.